Q&A series returns for Gameweek 13, where as usual, we'll be taking a look at the FPL community questions sent in via Twitter. Back1 asks, what to do with Mendy if I already own Robertson and Alonso? In terms of a like-for-like replacement, Man City centre-back Laporte is understandably proving to be popular. The league leaders have allowed opponents just 9 big chances in 12 matches this season, fewer than every other team, while their tallies of 7 clean sheets with 5 goals conceded are on par with Liverpool, and no team have bettered the pair. But if you're looking for an option with a higher point ceiling, Lucas Digne and Matt Doherty have been the 2 most creative defenders in recent weeks. Since Game Week 4, when Digne first broke into the Everton side, his tally of 19 attempted assists ranks top amongst all defenders, with the Wolves wingback next in line with 17. FPL Addict asks, is Richarlison a captaincy option this week? With Salah and Aguero both travelling away in Game Week 13, and no clear captaincy favourite between the two, this could be a good week to take a risk on a player who's in form and has a favourable home fixture. Richarlison certainly fits the bill. The premium players still have the edge in terms of underlying numbers across the last 3 game weeks, having each taken 5 efforts on target compared to Richarlison's 3, and they've each been involved in 1 more goal than the Everton midfielder during that period. However, only 5 teams have conceded fewer goals than Watford this season, with the Hornets recording a league best total of 2 goals conceded in the last 4 game weeks. West Ham meanwhile have only conceded more than 1 goal on 1 occasion during the last 10 game weeks, and they've shipped a total of just 2 goals in 3 home matches against last season's top 6 so far, in games against Chelsea, Spurs and Man United. Everton host a Cardiff side that have conceded an average of 3 big chances per game over the last 4 game weeks, while only Fulham and Burnley have conceded more goals. So while there's no clear winner, and all 3 players are strong captaincy contenders, giving Richarlison the armband is certainly tempting. Ahmad asks, Harry Kane or Aguero for the rest of December? Aguero has served us well so far this season, scoring more points than any other forward, and no player has directly contributed to more goals. But from Game Week 15 onwards, Spurs have an incredible run of games, facing home fixtures against Southampton, Burnley and Bournemouth, with Man United being the only traditional top 6 side they face up until Game Week 28. Another key factor here is that Aguero is likely to be more susceptible to rotation over the busy Christmas period. He's only completed 90 minutes in 3 out of 12 games so far, and Man City have a very capable backup in Gabriel Jesus, who could maybe earn a start at some point over this run. Game Week 15 itself will be played midweek, either side of weekend matches, so there could even be some risk for the Argentine there. Whilst Kane's form has been mixed this season, he's as close to nailed on as you can get, barring an injury or illness. Surprisingly, he's actually taken the joint highest number of shots on target this season, with 20, compared to Aguero's 19, and his total of 11 big chances is on par with Salah and Aguero, only Wilson has had more. Andre asks, is Martial's form sustainable, and should I sell Mane for Martial? Martial's form has been incredible over the last 5 game weeks, where he's returned 6 goals from a total of 13 efforts. On the one hand, he probably is overperforming a little bit, given that he's outscored his expected goals by more than double over that period. But his underlying numbers are still very strong in comparison to other players in the league. His total of 11 shots inside the box in the last 5 matches ranks second best amongst midfielders, with only Salah producing more with 13. And no midfielder has taken more than Martial's 9 shots on target in that time. By comparison, Sadio Mane has taken just 3 shots on target, with 5 from inside the box over that period. So whilst Martial's average of 10.8 points per match over the last 5 games will be hard to maintain, he still looks likely to offer good value for his price tag. FPL Viper asks, what would your imaginary wildcard squad be for Game Week 13? If active, would you keep Salah or free up the funds? Game Week 13 looks like a tricky time to make that decision, given that Salah's next couple of games are quite favourable, and he's likely to be one of the most captained options this weekend. But in the longer term, it's likely that Harry Kane will come into the picture, and possibly become the premium asset we look to rely on for captaincy from Game Week 15 onwards. And he'd imagine that for most FPL managers, Salah, Aguero or possibly both will be the players that have to be sacrificed to accommodate the Spurs forward. But with a wildcard now, the dilemma you face is whether or not to get on Kane early, possibly at the expense of Salah. or whether you instead commit to using future free transfers to make that switch. With that in mind, I'd personally plan to have something along these lines in time for Gameweek 15, moving back to a more traditional 3-4-3 setup. If you've got extra cash, it would be good to fit in Doherty, possibly ahead of Balbuena or Bennett. The key thing to note here is that Hazard, Sterling and Kane make up the 3 premium attackers, and that's something I'll personally be looking to move to for Gameweek 15, as things stand. And the final question for this episode comes from Edorus, who asks, who are the best defenders below 4.5 million to own, starting from Gameweek 13? There still looks to be value in Wolves defender Ryan Bennett, and Crystal Palace right-back Aaron Wan-Bissaka, providing he's fit. Both have some favourable fixtures coming up where you'd be able to field them if you need to, but otherwise they're always handy to have for the bench. Another option who's emerged in recent weeks is West Ham's Fabian Balbuena. After they face Man City in Gameweek 13, the Hammers have a very kind schedule up until Gameweek 22, and the centre-back ranks second amongst defenders for expected goals this season, just behind Sol Bamba.